Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Taya's Turning Pages. Today's video is actually going to be a booktuber newbie tag. I realized I should have did this first, like before I uploaded my first video, which was a book haul, but you know, we don't do things conventionally over here. So I'm finally getting around to this video, and I'm going to be looking at my phone so that way I can answer the questions. There's only 10 here. I don't know if I'm going to answer all of them, but I'm going to at least answer the majority of them. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question here is, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because I really love reading, duh. I think that goes without saying, but I don't know, I've always wanted to have my own like Bookstagram or Booktube channel and just talk about all of the books that I personally love. And I looked at, of course, some of the booktubers that I watch and that I like, and I'm like, well, if they could do it, I can do it too, you know? And I really wanted to just have this footage for myself so I can look back on this as I get older and say to myself, wow, so that was the type of book that I was into, or those are my favorite books at that time. I've always been into reading since I was a kid. Junie B. Jones is what got me into reading. That is my favorite book, like children's book series of all time. I actually have the box set on my bookshelf, and I'll probably show it when I get into the question that asks, what book got you into reading? But yeah, that's pretty much why. So the next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I mean, I feel like everyone brings something unique or different to BookTube because we're all unique and different. So I don't really have anything like specific that I want to say, but I'm just gonna come on here and just share the books that I like, that I love, and just kind of put that out there. That's really all I can do or say. The next question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Just connecting with other people that like the same books as me, that are interested in the same genres as me, etc. That's really the main reason, I think. Just building that sense of community. I started my Bookstagram a few months back, and I just really love all of the people that I like follow on there and that follow me, and then I talk to on my photos, but also theirs. I'm in like a Philly book group chat, so I just really love the sense of community when it comes to Bookstagram and Booktube and all of that type of stuff. Next question is, why do you love reading? I love reading for the simple fact that it can make you feel like you're transported to another world. There's a lot of crazy shit that goes on within this world, and we all need some form of escapism. My forms of escapism are watching reality TV and reading, and I just really love the fact that I can be immersed into a world through authors' writing or storytelling. I think that is a talent that, of course, not everyone has, and I just like to feel connected to the characters. I like to feel that I can be a part of a story and all of that stuff. So I feel like the emotions that reading invokes within you is great. It's great, and I get a thrill and a high off of it every time. So the next question is, what book or series got you into reading? And I already mentioned this, but Junie B. Jones. Yes, I do have the complete kindergartner box set of Junie B. Jones. I have all of the 17 books here from that series, and my favorite one being, I don't think I could take it out because it's just like stuffed in here, but my favorite Junie B. Jones book is Junie B. Jones and the Mushy Gushy Valentine. That is my favorite one out of the entire stack here. But this is what got me into reading. RIP to the legend, the icon, the moment, Barbara Park. Seriously, loved what she did for children's literature. Junie B. Jones is one of the funniest, sassiest characters I've ever come across, and I cackled every single time I read one of her books when I was younger. I thought she was like the coolest kid and the funniest kid, like I already said. Yeah, so I just wanted to have the box set. Amazon actually has it on their website. That's where I got it from, but I wanted to have the box set and put it on my bookshelf just to remind me that like, this is what got you into reading. This is what started it all. And I feel like if I'm ever in a reading slump, I can probably just pick up one of these books and just read this again and kind of just, you know, let my mind like, you know, relax. I feel like this is gonna be just such a great like comfort thing for me. So yeah. Junie B. Jones. If you never read it, or if you did read it, let me know down below. But if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend picking up one of the books. It is obviously written from like the standpoint of a kindergartner or a 6-year-old, so she will say things, Barbara Park will write words in there that'll say like the bestest or the worstest, but either way, I think that this is such a joy to read and to own. question here is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Honestly, I just think like trying to break through the algorithm, like that's with any social media platform, but YouTube is hard. When it comes to breaking through the algorithm, YouTube is really hard. And if you're not like deemed as family friendly, or you know, other systems that play here, it's kind of hard to like break through that bubble. But at the end of the day, this is a hobby for me, and I don't want to turn this into something where I get stressed out about, you know, because then that takes the fun out of reading, and I don't want that. Like, I already went through enough years where I stopped reading for fun because I was super busy with school or work or just life in general, and I want this to be an outlet slash hobby for me, you know? So I'm not really like going into this thinking like, oh, this is gonna be this massive empire of business. If it is, that's great, but if it's not, that's also okay. So the next question is, when did you start reading? Like I mentioned, I started reading when I was a child. I don't know exactly what age or grade, but I was a kid. And besides Junie B. Jones, I would say the Magic Tree House series also like sparked a huge love of reading for me. But I don't have the box set for Magic Tree House, but I do plan on getting it. I saw that Target sells it, so I do plan on getting that. The next question is, where do you read? I read everywhere, to be honest. I read in my room, I read on the couch over here. I would love to get like a little like chair or something to put over here near my bookcase, or that I can bring near my bookcase so I can like read here, but pretty much anywhere I can. If I'm commuting into the office for my job, I will read on the train too, but for the most part, I just kind of like read anywhere. The next question here is, what is your favorite book of all time or favorite series? And this is a hard one, but like, it's also not, because I've read this book, reread this book so many times, and I just think it's beautifully written. But it is this book right here. Let me just pull it off. This is the book right here. I would say this is my favorite one. It is To Selena with Love by Chris Perez. And Selena is one of my favorite singers and entertainers of all time, besides Beyonce and Ariana Grande. I love Selena Quintanilla Perez, and I am very invested in how she rose to fame and what her life was like before she became famous. And her husband, Chris, wrote I don't know if it's a biography or what, but he wrote a book based on his life with Selena. So this kind of documents, you know, how they got together and what their relationship was like, and how it was being with the Queen of Tejano, essentially. And I just thought that this was beautifully written. It is so heartbreaking, especially when you get to the last chapters, because that talks about Selena's untimely passing. So it's a heartbreaking book. I definitely cried and teared up when I read this, and I normally don't cry when I read books, but this one I did, trust me. But yes, this is my favorite book of all time. I just think that the love story here is so beautiful, and there's this like quote where it's like, you know, this is the type of love story that can only be found in books. Well, yeah, like their love story was meant to be written like in a book, because what they overcame to become, you know, one was just amazing. So yes, definitely recommend this book if you're a fan of Selena, but also if you're just a fan of great love stories in general. Again, it is very sad and heartbreaking because this does talk about Selena's untimely passing in 1995, but definitely recommend. Last question here is, what kind of books do you like to read? So I love romance books. That's like my favorite genre of all time. I love love. I'm a hopeless romantic, so love romance. I also love thrillers and mysteries and suspenseful books, in particular psychological thrillers. I love me a good mind story, you know? I love it. So those are also great. And then I really like memoirs and like nonfiction. I'm like really into that too. I don't know why, but I'm like really invested in reading about other people's lives. I think because I'm nosy, that's why. So I started to pick up a lot of memoirs. Right here I have like, this is like my women's, this is actually my women's lit bookshelf, and all right here are memoirs of famous like women and stuff like that. So I have Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, Anne Frank, Diane Guerrero, and the list goes on. So I haven't read all of them, and I'm still decorating this shelf. That's why I'm kind of like hiding it right now, because I just started making this. But yeah, those are like the type of books that I'm really into reading. I'm also getting into reading classics as well. I'm currently reading The Phantom of the Opera, and I love it. It's so freaking good. But those are the type of books I like to read. All right, y'all, and that is it. Those are the questions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got to know a little bit more about me. I probably will do an updated one, like, you know, every year or whatever the case is, but I just wanted to film this because I should have been did it, but we did it now, so that's all that matters. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.